A couple of people have asked me recently how to create larger pieces of felt. For example, 1 meter by 2 meters, or how have I created my larger pieces of felt, such as rugs in the past? Well, the simple answer is it takes time, it takes patience, and it does take space, although it can be done in a smaller space if you do something called scrolling. But let's just take a large rug that I felted as a commission years ago. It was an area rug that was to end up about 2.4 meters by 3 point something, I think. And it was a really big project. That actually took me 6 weeks to felt by hand. I needed 3 large party tables laid together, positioned together. And the layout of my piece still was bigger than those tables. So I could never work on the complete rug. I could never see the complete rug for the first number of weeks. And so in that case, what I had to do was I worked on an extremely large woven plastic mat. It had come actually from Turkey at the time. I had been lucky enough to get this huge big rug, this plastic rug. And I worked on that instead of on bubble wrap or a bamboo blind. So the rug was bigger than what I wanted my finished piece to be. I could only work on a certain amount of the rug at the one time. So I had to lay this big plastic mat on my tables, start laying out the fiber, wet and soap it, and then start rolling the rug up and then lay the next bit of fiber. And I just worked in that way until I had the whole piece laid out. It is very time consuming. I needed to really think carefully about what I was doing, but that is how I created that large area rug. Now, when I'm working on something nowadays, I try not to do something of that size and weight. That needed many layers of fiber. But what I would do is, if I'm making a large wall hanging now, I like to use a piece of cotton gauze or silk as a base. And I cut that to the size, my starting size. And I would lay that down on, my bubble wrap or whatever I'm working on. It could be painter's plastic. So I would lay that down over my 3 tables, or I could work on the floor. And then I lay my fiber on top. Layer 1, I wet, net and soap. Then I lay layer 2, layer 3, etc., etc. And what happens is that base layer of fabric gives me the guide as to how the size I'm laying the piece out. And so it's a little bit easier for me, and I've got straight edges on it. And so that's how I would lay out big pieces. Then, of course, it takes time to do all the rubbing and the rolling. And I think it's really important not to try working too quickly. So that's how I personally do larger pieces. And I hope that you find that helpful and it answers your questions.